Well, partner, when it comes to talking about sacrifice, you're looking at a man who knows a thing or two about it. I've seen my fair share of battles, both on and off the battlefield, and I've learned a thing or two about what it means to make sacrifices for the greater good. First and foremost, sacrifice ain't an easy road to travel. It's full of hardships, tough decisions, and moments where you gotta dig deep into your heart and soul to find the strength to carry on. But let me tell you this, it's a path worth taking, because sometimes it's the only way to make a difference in this world. Now, I've worn the stars and stripes for a long time, and I've seen friends and comrades lay down their lives for a cause they believed in. It's never easy losing someone you care about, but it's a stark reminder of the importance of sacrifice. Sacrifice is what sets heroes apart from the rest. It's what defines us. But let's talk about how to make a sacrifice, how to approach it when the time comes. The first thing you got to remember is that it's got to be for something bigger than yourself. It ain't about personal gain or glory. It's about protecting the innocent, defending the helpless, and standing up for what's right. You got to be willing to put others before yourself. That means making tough decisions, even if it tears you up inside. It means doing what's necessary to ensure the greater good, even if it means giving up something you hold dear. But it ain't just about what you give up, it's also about how you do it. Sacrifice ain't about being a martyr, it's about making a conscious choice to do what needs to be done. It's about facing adversity head on, even when you're scared or uncertain. It's about standing up to the darkness, even when it feels like it's going to swallow you whole. I remember a time during World War II when my team and I were deep behind enemy lines and we had a mission to complete. We knew it was going to be dangerous, and we knew there was a good chance we wouldn't make it out alive. But we also knew that the mission was too important to back down from. We were faced with a choice that many have had to make throughout history. Do we go forward knowing the risks, or do we turn back and play it safe? We chose to move forward, to make the ultimate sacrifice if necessary. We understood the importance of our mission, and we were willing to give everything to see it through. That's another thing about sacrifice, my friend. It's not always about giving up your life. Sometimes it's about giving up your comfort, your safety, your security. It's about taking risks and facing danger head on, because you know that's what it takes to make a difference. But don't get me wrong, making a sacrifice ain't about throwing caution to the wind and acting recklessly. It's about being smart, strategic, and calculating. It's about weighing the risks and benefits and deciding that the greater good is worth the potential cost. And it's not just about one big heroic act either. Sacrifice can be a series of small choices and actions day in and day out. It's about doing what's right even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. It's about leading by example and inspiring others to do the same. I've had the privilege of knowing some incredible people in my time, folks who've made sacrifices that most can't even imagine. I think of my friend Bucky Barnes, who made the ultimate sacrifice for me during World War II. He gave his life to save mine, and I'll never forget that. But Bucky's story didn't end there. He was eventually brought back, and he's continued to make sacrifices in the years since. He's fought alongside me as the Winter Soldier, struggling to find his own path to redemption. Sacrifice ain't just about one moment, it's about a lifetime of choices and actions. Now, I want to talk about the importance of sacrifice. You see, sacrifice is what keeps the darkness at bay. It's what pushes back against the forces of evil and tyranny. It's what allows us to stand up against injustice and oppression. Without sacrifice, there'd be no freedom, no justice, no hope. It's the fuel that powers the engine of progress and change. It's what allows ordinary people to become heroes, to rise above their own limitations and do extraordinary things. I've seen ordinary folks step up and make incredible sacrifices. I've seen parents who've worked multiple jobs to provide for their kids, sacrificing their own comfort and dreams for the sake of their family's future. I've seen everyday people stand up to bullies and injustice, putting themselves on the line to protect their communities. Sacrifice is also what builds bonds of trust and camaraderie. When you're in the trenches with someone, when you face danger and adversity together, you form a bond that can't be broken. You know that the person next to you is willing to make the same sacrifice as you are, and that creates a sense of unity and purpose that's powerful beyond measure. But I won't lie to you, making sacrifices can be painful. It can leave scars, both physical and emotional. It can take a toll on your spirit and make you question whether it's all worth it. There have been times when I've wondered if the sacrifices I've made were in vain, if the world would ever truly change for the better. But then I remember why I do what I do. I do it because I believe in a world where everyone has a chance to live in peace and freedom, where no one has to live in fear or oppression. I do it because I believe that even in the darkest of times, there's a spark of hope that can light the way. I do it because I've seen the impact that even one person can have when they're willing to make a sacrifice. I've seen how a single act of bravery can inspire others to do the same. I've seen how a small group of dedicated individuals can change the course of history. And I do it because I know that sacrifice is what makes us human. It's what sets us apart from the forces of darkness and despair. It's what gives us the strength to keep fighting, no matter how tough the odds may be. So, my friend, if you ever find yourself facing a moment where sacrifice is the only option, remember this: you're not alone. There are others who've walked this path before you, who've made sacrifices that have shaped the world we live in today. And there are those who will stand beside you, shoulder to shoulder, ready to make their own sacrifices for the greater good. Don't be afraid to make the tough choices, to stand up for what you believe in, and to put others before yourself. It won't always be easy, and it won't always be clear, but if you keep your heart true and your purpose strong, you'll find the strength to carry on. And never forget that sacrifice is what makes heroes. It's what makes legends. It's what makes a difference in this world. So keep that shield raised high, my friend, and remember that even in the face of darkness, there's a beacon of hope that can guide you through. As long as there are people willing to make sacrifices, there will always be a chance for a better tomorrow. And that, my friend, is a cause worth fighting for.